Sports Pueblo, 1350. This is the John Wristen Show. Let's join the voices of the pack, Jim Brooks and Joe Cervi, along with CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves head coach, John Wristen.
And a very pleasant good evening. Welcome to the Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House for the Car Pros John Wristen Show. Jim Brooks, along with the Chieftains Joe Cervi and the head coach John Wristen. We already got our snacks out in front of us. I'm so excited. Got the buffalo chicken again with the ranch sauce. Pretzels.
Can we just talk about the snacks?
That's what we're going to do. Are you catching my drift?
Talk about the snacks.
The food here is great.
Are you catching my drift, John? That's what I just went right into the food. I don't know what happened.
Hey, it's a packed house, and they knew they were coming to listen to you. So
well, we have some special guests that drove all the way from Colorado Springs to come down and hear us. The whole bit. So
they want to see John Wristen and hear about John Wristen.
Yeah. Well, we got to talk about this debacle.
Yeah, we do. We got a lot of questions about Saturday, but
I'm sure you do.
But we can get past that and then look ahead. See, that's what's good about this is we can look. Whoa, got a little feedback there, but then we can look back and dissect. Then we can look forward and have hope.
I've already done that for the whole day. Thank you.
Well, it all started when Joe asked you about the bus ride home. I think that's when your recovery started, didn't it?
I've heard a lot of comments about that, but all I said was thanks.
And it's funny because people don't understand it. I go in the locker room after John talks to his team. This was a one-sided conversation, by the way.
Yeah.
The way John talked to his team on Saturday, and we set a couple folding chairs, and he said, I didn't even want to do that. And John looks at me and goes, hey, got to take the good with the bad, and we've had a lot of good ones. He said we've had a lot of post-game conversations that have been fantastic and meant a lot. So you got to take the good with the bad, and John's a stand-up coach, and he took the slings and arrows, and going to take a few more tonight.
Well, I was I got a bunch of texts kind of on the way home. I didn't turn on my phone for a while. And there was like, what did you do after the game? What did you say? Why did you just walk away? And I go, I didn't think I was doing that, but I was trying to dodge this guy that was swinging this Fort Lewis flag that would just poked me in the eye.
Yeah.
And I had a poke in the eye for about 3 hours, a pencil in there, so I was a little agitated at that point. But you're right. We've been very fortunate in this program to have 60 minutes of really good football.
Yeah.
I would say the 60 minutes that we played on Saturday was the worst football we played in 10 years. I am very disappointed. I'm humbled by the way we went about our business, and all that falls on me. It falls on me the way we coached, the way we traveled, the way we went to go play the game. I mean, I didn't do my job. I didn't get my guys ready, and so I have to stand up for that, and the responsibility starts with me.
Well, you mentioned that, and we had some people ask us, how do you coach better? They heard you say it on the radio. They saw it in the paper. We as coaches have to do a better job. How does a football coach better?
Well, it's just like anything. You go through 1,000 decisions in a day, and you got to make sure those decisions help you get better. I think one of the things that if I had to look back on it, I don't know if I got my guys ready to play fast. I assumed we were on a good groove. I assumed that we were on this march, and I didn't anticipate this at all. I didn't cover everything from the putting your head down and going to work for 60 minutes, and this is the way you go win a ball game. I talked about it, but I didn't emphasize it. I didn't go through all the dynamics that it takes to go. I talked about, I wanted to see this definition of love, is what I said to their guys. I want to see how you love to play the game, how you love to go out and prepare yourself. And I want to see that result on Sunday morning when I watch the tape. And I forgot to go through our process of saying how hard you have to go play and how much you got to go respect your opponent. Now, Fort Lewis kicked our butt. Okay? Fort Lewis did a great job of getting their kids ready to play. We didn't respond. from the head coach to the guys who helped tape to the guys who brought everything. From that point on, 1 through 60, we did not do our job, and we will make sure we get that fixed.
Well, you look back at the ball game, I guess it looked like it started easy enough for you. You get it off the field on defense. You take over at plus 45. You're on their side of the field. You think, well, here we go. It's like it almost, this is going to be nice and easy. They're going to go and score.
Hell, you won the toss.
Yeah.
For the first time this year. You won the damn coin toss.
So the storm cloud started forming right then when you didn't take advantage of that early field position.
Well, I think you're exactly right. We went 3 and out, and we struggled. I think
you haven't had a penalty on that drive, too, right?
Well,
was that the next one?
We had a penalty on that put us back that would have gave us a first down. We would have done it. So instead of being 2nd and 2, we're 2nd and 7. And we didn't convert. We throw a pass. We didn't convert. And then we gave up. And then we come back second series of defense and gave up the 73-yard run that we weren't in our gaps. We didn't do our jobs. And when that happens, you lose. You start pressing. And we went back through it and said we didn't use our eyes to the discipline of our job. We were trying to do someone else's job to make up for something. We started pressing a little bit. And I got to do a better job of making sure. We've been down 14 before. We've been down 21 before and been able to come back and do some things. Something happened that I didn't do a good job of the leadership to make sure it gets done. I wasn't able to overcome this Drano effect because it was going down the drain real fast and that snowball was getting big, and then that water was moving awful fast, and I didn't do a good job of jumping in the front of it and try to stop it.
Plus they were making plays. Of course the pick six didn't help. When you get down 14-0, I mean that was like a shot to the chops. 14 points in about a 15-second span there.
Yeah.
And then their next drive, I mean, that was the thing. They had some excellent scheming. I don't know how you want to call it, John. Some of the plays they came up with, the counters, the little screen passes, it seemed like they had a lot of things that worked. The little corner route for the touchdown was a beauty. I mean, they made some big plays in that game.
They really took we had them in 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8.
I think they were 6 for 8, something like that on 3rd down.
And they made them.
Yeah.
That was the difference between winning the ball game and getting off the field and gaining some momentum. We also had a penalty that we should not have been more. We should have been more disciplined to be able to handle that. And the guys didn't do anything that was like, wow. It was like you should know you got to stop
when the guy's helmet comes off.
And so sometimes that the guys are in the momentum of doing that. It happens, but they understand right now that they put us in a bad position by doing that. And that was a selfish penalty. Selfish penalties is when you stop and see the things after the whistle. And we need to overcome that. We didn't do that Saturday.
It didn't help matters that the guy couldn't keep his helmet on all day. But on that play you're talking about on the side.
And then, John, you were on the far side. It happened
right in front.
Literally right in front of Jim and I. And Brandon actually led up.
The guy slipped on the little thing
but it was so deep into the sideline that everybody was in the official's ear. He didn't see anything on the bench. He just assumed what everybody was screaming. And Jim and I said it right away. He did let up. He and we thought it was a bad call. Well, but the helmet coming off.
Well, the point to that too is that the helmet came off in the field.
Right.
Okay. And I tried to show it to our guys. That's when you got to stop.
Right.
Yeah. You got to stop.
The play's over.
Right. The play should be dead. It's over. You don't need to carry it. And then I used the example when I showed it to the team was that if it was on our sidelines, I'd be screaming and yelling for a penalty. And you get those on the opposing bench.
Right.
You really do.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got to know where we are and how we go about our business and the discipline of making sure that we don't make. And it wasn't a really selfish deal. It was just one of those things that becomes selfish because you can't get out the field when it's third and it's going to be 3rd and 8.
Well, it's magnified.
It's going to be 4th down.
Yeah,
that was a 3rd down play.
It was a 3rd down play.
So we get off the field. That's my whole point.
Right.
And we have a chance to return the punt, and we had a great point scheme and great punt return scheme, and we weren't able to take advantage of it.
Well, Joe and I were kind of, on our drive home, we were trying to think about what was the play? What do you think was the play or series of plays? Well, we figured it was the pick six, which which got you behind the 8 ball, and then that penalty call was really got you behind schedule. Then you can pick a few plays there in the second half.
I didn't like, I went back a little bit, and the touchdown before half, because you were trying to play clock, and you were calling timeouts to your benefit, and it works the other way. And I thought, that's not good.
I think when we had it was 14 at the chance of making them go long field.
Right.
And that's where we're talking about this whole drive. We do some things that I don't ever think that this Thunderwolf team would ever do, and we did them. And so I think we obviously all those things are such a big importance. And then when you're down 21 at half, and then you have a chance to say, holy smokes, let's regather, let's get it done. And then you go 3 and out for the series. Our best offensive play was that punt, and we recovered the fumble.
Yeah.
So, and then if we score a touchdown, we're 14 with only 9 minutes gone, or 4 minutes gone.
And you restored order.
So we had some opportunity, and we didn't get it. And I think it's a combination of us not executing, playing fast, and we got to evaluate what we did down there on our play calls, and we did, and we'll get better at it.
Well, you're talking about playing on natural turf. I think that hurt you on the second down run by Marche. I mean, if he makes the cut and stays on his feet, the hole's there. He's going to score. But he slips and falls down. That's part of playing on turf. You just got to adjust to that. But, Joe and I thought maybe the first down call you'd probably like to have back, 1st and goal at the 3 when you threw it, maybe instead of maybe running Marche. But, you got some with Morgan in the back of the end zone. Just things didn't click.
Well, we had an opportunity because we've been almost all first down runs. And so I've been harping on our self-scout, and let's change it up. Right. So that's on me and no one else. And so we had a chance to. We took a chance. Every play call you got to take a chance. Great coaching by Fort Lewis. They were ready for it.
They had Morgan covered up.
Shot. So and then we come back and we run a little sluggo route, and the guy.
That was interference, yeah. Well, we said that on the air, too. That was blatant interference they didn't call.
So they grab us in the end zone. We don't get called. And so it just was one of those things, one of those days.
Now, did the thought cross your mind there? I think it was the right decision to go for the field goal, but did the thought go through your mind, say, man, we're down 20, we better get a touchdown here, or is a field goal defeat
I wanted points.
Just wanted points.
I knew I wanted points and gain some momentum.
Right, okay, so I think it was
but that wasn't a gimme with the wind.
Yeah, it was just...
Well, you're right, but it wasn't a gimme, too, on a fourth to four.
Exactly.
And the right hash, but the wind was a big factor in this game, but both teams had to play it.
Exactly.
And one team responded.
All right, we've dissected the first half and the first drive of the second half. We're going to take a timeout because we need some nourishment. We got nourishment in front of us, so we're going to, regather. We're hunter-gatherers.
We are hunter-gatherers.
So we're going to get some of this in us, and we're going to come back after this timeout. We are at the Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House. Come on down and join us. Got a nice crowd in here tonight. Got TVs going. Got the Yankees destroying the Astros again. No home or team has lost yet in this series, Joe. There's still hope for you Astros fans out there.
Home. It could
happen. But come on and join us. Car Pros John Wristen Show. We are on Fox Sports Pueblo. We'll be back after this timeout.
The John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
And welcome back. Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House. The Thunder Zone Buffalo Chicken Sliders are to die for.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
The foot-long chicken sausage dog is Thunder Dog.
Thunder Dog. Okay.
Thunder Dog is delicious, and the soup tonight is Italian wedding soup.
Oh, Italian wedding soup.
Primo.
All right, that's good. Well, we're looking forward to enjoying that. I've got a little choir to go to after. As soon as we finish the show, you're going to see me throw the headphones out and run out the door. I got to get over to Heaton. Little Carly's got it's not so little anymore, 8th grader.
Wow.
Got the big concert tonight at Heaton, so when I told her, I got to do my show, Lorelai just wanted to go, I'm going to kill you. I go, the show starts at 7. I can be done, I'll get over there. Okay. So I'm off the hook if I can get there.
Well, there was 2 of us did it last week.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. Joe was AWOL last week.
That
might be the ultimate cause. We didn't have total preparation on Wednesday night.
I didn't bring my A game. I went to MC the Best of Pueblo, and I was telling Ryan and Chris, you stuff the ballot box next year, you get coldest beer, best pizza, best bartenders, best customer service. It could be a Thunder Zone night.
Best midweek coaches show.
Hey, I'm pulling for you as best broadcaster, and always pulling for you as best head coach. But somebody from the Pueblo Rangers always wins because they just stuff the ballot box.
The soccer moms. There you go. Well, that's cool.
The soccer moms.
All right, where were we? Back with all this levity.
I think we should just say that Fort Lewis is over. The leaves have changed.
You don't want to hear about any more of the game?
Why?
There's a couple plays I want to know.
Well, no, we do need to talk about freshman Gunnar Lemphier. We need to talk about. I'm not trying to disparage Gunnar. I know I've known him for a little while. When you take the senior who's won a lot of games for you and you hook him for a true freshman, that's dire straits.
And the freshman plays pretty good.
And he plays really good.
Does that change your mindset going into the week at all?
John?
Well,
because, Jim Brooks already made the call. Put the freshman in this week.
Well,
but I knew that was... I know.
I really think that... Rex had one of those days.
Yeah.
And
didn't help the wind was blowing 30 crosswind. That was a tough wind.
It didn't help that the 10 other guys didn't play very well either. So it's not all on Rex, and he's had much better days. And so I wanted to stay with him as long as I could, and we finally thought that we needed a spark and thought Gunnar could do it, and came in and gave a spark. First snap, he fumbled.
Right,
so,
exactly.
It was one of those days.
The thing is, he fumbled and then got it back and then fumbled it again. It was kind of a double fumble.
And then the kid's credit, he stuck with it, threw some nice passes, and gave us a fighting chance at the end.
Well, John, you had a little light of hope there, a ray of hope, I guess you'd say, in that fourth quarter. You get it to 35-17. You're thinking, well, you start doing the math. Well, we can get 3 stops, get the ball back 3 times, we can win this ball game. I was going through and I go, well, we just play regular defense. But you decided at that point, you know what, we're going to kick this onside kick.
Yeah, I wanted.
Was that you decided? Let's just do it.
I think that
better now.
I was playing the percentages of we really hadn't. We hadn't
stopped him. Well, that's what Joe said.
We stopped him in the second half better.
Yeah.
Okay. And I thought our best chance was to get the ball back and score again quickly.
Okay.
Because you really were only at 9 minutes at that time.
Right.
And you really only have, if you look at it, only 2 more possessions.
You had to find an extra one somewhere.
That's what I was trying to find, the extra one, because they don't turn the ball over very much.
Right.
And I think one of the keys in the game, could have been a big key in the game, was when Tanner Draper intercepted the pass, and we came back, and we have the quarterback blocked. And then he slips off it, and one of our guys kind of lets up. If he keeps going and just that effort of getting there, he's going to walk right down the side.
He's going to score. That would have been your quick score.
And then
you think about it.
Then we got a little juice. And that's what championship teams do. That's what championship teams figure out, how to strain when things aren't going well. They don't strain only when things are going great. They strain when things going bad. And I didn't do a very good job of getting them ready for that.
Well, Joe and I, we had the conversation. We do all these things. We're thinking, they should kick it deep here.
Well,
I say, well, the defense can stop them. And Joe says, well, they haven't really stopped them much all day, Jim. And I go, well, that means they're due. But, we're going back and forth on it. But we can see that it was kind of like one of those no-win situations. Well, we got to try the onside kick here. But
the fact that it's such a low percentage play. But at that time you're in desperation mode anyway. I mean, that is what it is, and you put yourself behind that. So and the way the breaks were going, they were not going your way at all. I mean, from getting off the bus to at all. But again, it's just, what are you going to do? It's one of those days.
Well, I thought that we might get lucky and gain some momentum, and we needed a spark.
Right.
We didn't have a spark on that, and so I thought maybe onside might give us a spark.
That's why I thought late when you did get it to 35-24. I go, well, and then you hit the ball. I'm going, they're going to get an onside kick sooner or later. Get the touchdown here. You might get that onside kick and just come out here stealing the ball game. But it had that ray of hope, but it was just like he couldn't.
Well, and the pass the gunner threw to Josh was good. But the pass he threw to O'Shea,
right?
Yeah, that's as good.
Yeah, that was a beauty.
I mean, that's an excellent throw by a true freshman.
Right. That was.
And then you got the stop. You had him at the 30 after they punted it sideways out of bounds. So you had the short field. It was almost like if you got a quick one there, then you're thinking about it. We could get this onside kick, but they kind of just didn't click there on that from the 30-yard line, three opportunities.
Yeah, we had some different opportunities, and I think really one of the reasons why we didn't play very fast is our footing. We didn't feel comfortable with the footing, and we had guys that were running hard and then they fall down and slip. And I don't know if that's a product of not practice on the grass, it's not getting used to it, et cetera, with all that. But it's a difficult transition when you practice on turf all the time and not have a chance to prepare for grass.
Now, can you go to like an East High School or one of the practice fields at Central or Centennial?
I'm sure I could have, and something I will definitely look in. But it just seems to me we have played fast up at Chatham.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one service that doesn't bother you guys.
So I'm trying to say there's really no excuses. We didn't do a great job of getting that ready to go and play fast at Fort Lewis, and that falls on me. I didn't get them ready, and so there's a lot of different excuses from the place we stayed to what we ate to how we traveled, and so I've analyzed it all and many sleepless nights of not trying to figure out, and but I think I know this team will respond to this.
Okay, Joe, I think we can officially now. We've watched.
Well, let's
you got any more?
I want to ask one more.
Okay.
You were clearly disappointed. You called it even just tonight. Said it was one of the worst losses in the 10 years. What was the psyche of your inner circle, and what was I was at practice yesterday and today. To me, very businesslike, but not. There wasn't a lot of. Every conversation today was one-sided by coaches toward players. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Was it intended?
Yes.
Okay.
I wanted us to understand that I was from top to bottom. I was disappointed in our performance and effort, and so I challenged everybody to respond to it. And our guys in the inner circle were really disappointed. They took ownership in what they had to do. They took ownership that Fort Lewis came out and really beat us and we didn't respond, and that they're ready to go out and fess it and fix it, because we can't do anything from what happened in the past, but we can learn, we can correct, and we can go have fun, is what I try to tell them. And have fun around here is WIN.
There you go. And I think in the final analysis, Joe and I talked about it on the air, you wanted to think maybe the Thunderbolts had a bad day, but you can't discount what Fort Lewis did on that day. They played out of their minds. They played a great football game. Kind of game you've been proud of. You've been coaching that up.
No question. To me, it boils down to how do you respond through adversity? How many times have I said the ebbs and flows of the game? We got punched in the mouth. We didn't punch back. We didn't respond to being down 14-0. We could have been down 14-0, had the ball back, drive down, made it 14-7.
And then
very easy.
Yeah.
And now we're in the ball game. Everybody's saying, okay, I'm not straining, I'm not stressing as much. And, there's a difference between strain and stress. Strain is that you do enough to your job to be able. Stress prevents you from doing your job. And so we developed a little stress during that game because we didn't buy into our discipline of the details.
All right, there you have it from the coach. We're going to come back after this timeout. We're going to take some questions. I got some coming in. If you got a question here on the hot mic, we've got some tickets to give away, so come on over here and do it. And also, we're taking questions at 719-671-7574. 719-671-7574. This is the Car Pros John Wristen Show. We are at the Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House. Back after this timeout on Fox Sports Pueblo.
The John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
Welcome back. Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House. Nice crowd on hand here tonight. Have some fresh faces as well. Little Gia's here tonight. Gia Baldonado. Gia, hi. Happy late birthday, Gia, back there in the corner. Her mom, Jillian, and Dad, David, are here. Baldonados are representing tonight.
John's got a little family that doesn't normally come to this.
Yeah.
Sister Sue's here in town. But what's she eating? Sue, what are you eating?
Mouthful.
She just held it up. I don't know what that was.
That's true Wristen spirit, right?
There you go.
Holding up the food.
Oh, it's a
looks like a slider.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, that's good.
We talk with their mouths full.
There's Mrs. Your mom's here. Look.
Oh, yeah.
You know it's a rough week when Mom has to come to the radio show.
Yeah,
you know you had a bad week when Mom comes to the radio.
Got to make sure somebody's here to represent the family.
That's right.
She's still concerned about her son.
Yeah, her little boy is worried about his psyche this week.
Got my in-laws support too.
Yeah, well,
got my favorite niece Kylie here. How lucky can I be?
Is she your only niece?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, then all we need is Ronnie, but I think he'd come down and punk you a little bit.
She's my only niece named Kylie.
Oh, I got you.
What's Kylie digging into there? That looks good. Looks like a hamburger, just a burger? Yeah.
Green chili something or other.
Ooh, that looks nice. All right, okay, here we go. You ready for some questions, John?
I want to bring them on.
We got a lot of them. Well, some of them are kind of repeats, but first question, just simple, Rex or Gunner? You've already answered that.
We're going Rex. Rex got it. So.
Well, and give people on that same. Give them a Brandon Edwards update.
It's funny. Last Wednesday we talked about both Brandon and AJ, and Brandon has progressively gotten a lot better. AJ had a flare up.
Had a setback yesterday.
Yeah, he really pushed it hard last week, and we were really hoping that he might have a chance this week, but we decided to pull him and maintain his rehab and see where it goes with that. But Brandon, I think, is going to be ready, and he's close to being ready. Maybe the following week, but we'll see how it goes.
Do you want to try and get him some snaps at home before you have to go out on the road?
No,
that's not
our factor this week.
Okay. No, but you play at home next week too.
Right. I'm just saying. Right. We just want to see how his health is our number one concern.
I got you.
To be able to do that.
Well, Tundra's concerned about more important things. Wants to congratulate you on 56 honor roll students.
Yeah, that's pretty
cool. That's pretty good, huh?
Yeah, we're like we had 56 kids out of 122 that were able to make our spring honor roll of 3.0 or better.
I got another listener wants to know on your schedule. Is there any chance of getting the schedule changed up where it's kind of a, home road? It seems like we got these big road trips and we come home for 2, road for 2. Is it just going to be this way for a while, or how's it going to shake out?
Next year, where the whole schedule will flip a little bit, and so we're going to slide it down where we'll play Mines because of the first game. Well, let me back up. Chattern will be our first game next year.
At home?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Dixie will be our next home, and Chattern will be, and then we'll go and play I believe we jump. Adams is in there. It moves because of the buys is what it says. So we move it 4 slots is how it works.
So your bye week's number 5,
right?
Week 5 next year. But it's not a bye week; it's a non-conference week.
It's a non-conference week where it's either 4 or 5 is where I'm at with that. And so we will. We got a game set with Texas Commerce right now.
Yeah. So some programs have that option. They don't schedule a game, others do. So it's your wild card.
And I'm kind of going through this, playing 11 versus 10, so the schedule will flip a little bit on the order, but when we play a team home, we won't play them we'll play them at away next year.
What you wrestle with that 10 versus 11? There were a lot of 10-game teams that make the playoffs. I used to think that extra game would give you an opportunity to impress or whatever, but it's all math.
It's all math, and it's all about wins and losses.
So maybe a bye is maybe not such a bad thing if you had to go on the road. But if you get that 11th game at home, then you're okay. But to get that 11th game where you got to go, if you go 5-5, you're good. But if that 6th game means a road trip, then you got to think it.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Well, I want to play as many games as I can for our kids.
Right. So 11.
Our seniors and being able to handle that, and so that's part of the debate on that.
Well, do you already have an agreement with A&M Commerce for them to come here the following year, or is that just up in the air?
The following year they would come here.
They really will come. Okay. All right.
So the good home and home, and that's a great conference. People, the Lone Star is it's a mirror conference almost, as I like it. I mean, Texas A&M. West Texas A&M is so much like CSU Pueblo, and it's such a close one. The Commerce is a little bit, that's Dallas, correct?
That's east of Dallas.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. Another listener wants to know, really wants to encourage the club this week, wants to know when the pack walk is and when is it scheduled before every game? How many hours, like hour and a half, or what's the...
It's always 2 hours and 15 minutes right before. So 11:45. 11:45, we'll leave the Life Science building and we'll start our walk down there, and so it's awesome to come down the hill and see the tailgaters and the tailgates and the people on walking on the team and all the families and friends and fans and the other. So it'd be awesome to get more people out there.
Well, our next listener wants to know, and Joe and I kind of talked about this during the ball game, and I was probably Debbie Downer during the game. I said, man, this
it's kind of funny because it was him this time, not me.
Crushes the playoff hopes with this loss.
That's not what I heard.
But the listener wants to know, if you go 4-0, is there any glimmer of hope of still capturing the playoffs, and what has to happen?
There's a lot of football left, and all we can control is going 1-0 each week. If we go and we handle our business, we'll be in the talk. And so there's tremendous amount of competition in our region that a lot of great teams have to play each other. And so it's out there for us. But the key is playing as hard as you can for 60 minutes in each opportunity you got. We didn't do that last Saturday, and I know we're over it, but I got to keep stressing those are the things that we have control over. Sometimes when you're in these situations, we go 9-2, I believe that we will have a chance.
Well, the key is you want to make them have to make that decision to let Mesa in when you beat them.
That's the whole thing.
That's what it's going to come down, or it may come down to that. Yeah. May not, but that's one of the decisions that will have to be made late in the year.
Right.
Okay.
I didn't get a question tonight on this, but I got a question. Hello.
Sorry.
I got an email this morning on it. A reader's concerned about the running game. And, they're longtime listeners, and they were listening Saturday, and it seems like it's either feast or famine. You either run over teams or you don't run at all. And obviously Saturday was the latter. And they want to know what the problem is with the running game.
Well, the problem Saturday was dictated by the score.
Yeah.
And so, we try to go when it was 14-0, and then we took it out and went 3-and-out. And we did run the ball 2 consecutive times there, and we had a 3rd and 2, and we didn't pick it up. And so, talk about playing fast is where I'm not saying where you're running fast, but you're executing your job at a tremendous quality. That quality means that you are doing your job and doing it right and doing every little detail. The discipline details really understands how greatness is attained. And so we have to make sure that we understand that. And again, that falls on me as a coach to get that done. I think the issue with the run game on Saturday was we didn't play very fast. We weren't very physical. We were just there.
So was it you or them, or was it a combination of both?
Both.
Okay.
A combination of Fort Lewis did a great job, and they always. If you go back to our run games in the past against Fort Lewis, we haven't had big numbers, and I'm okay with that. But they are. If you recall last Wednesday night, I said this is a very, very well coached team, and they get to maximize out of all their guys, and they did that.
And it helped to be able to stop the run on that day when the wind was. It just wasn't an easy day to throw the football around, so you had to be able to run a little bit, and that's probably where it really turned.
You know, I was really proud last Wednesday in our offense. We've been almost 230 to 230 in our run, and that's what I would like to be ideal, and I think anybody in the nation would like that.
Sure. I have one other listener wants to know about how Ty McCulley is. Of course, death of his grandfather this week, and he went off the field. It was really kind of scary when he went off the field Saturday and got carried off the field, but he got back in there. But update us on what his condition is, both mentally, but emotionally, and how his physically is.
Ty came up to me on the bus and said he got a call from his mom, and he says Grandpa passed away, and you can just tell it was a rough day for him overall, and we stopped at Loaf and Jug there in Alamosa and gave him a big old hug right there, and I was with him and kind of put things in perspective a little bit.
All right.
Yeah, and it was kind of Ty's 6'5", 310. Yeah. So when he needs to help off the field, and little Sarah is this big, and so she wanted help to get him off the field, and I think the offensive lineman took that literally.
Yeah.
So they carried him off the field, and that was. I don't want to say it was comical, but it was something you know. And then they had to run back on the field and for a play. Look, you're shaking your head because you're right there with us.
I'm going. Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Exactly. You're right there with us.
And so I go and Ty's laying there, and he goes, I think I'm all right.
Yeah.
He goes on our sideline. He's laying down there. And he goes, I think I'm all right. And I go, okay, good, because I thought
the world was ending there.
We're going to have to run down to the ambulance and take you down after the game.
And then he's back in.
And then I'm going, and then the next thing I know, he's running back on the field.
Yeah.
I go, we just carried
him off.
And they're starting the play clock because our two starters are carrying the third starter off.
Right.
And I'm going, oh, this is a comical affair.
Yeah, don't get me started on the play. There were some shenanigans in that Fort Lewis booth. Some shenanigans on the sidelines, too, but they were just minor ones. I don't think it would have mattered anything. All right. Like I said, don't get me started.
Hey, you've been pretty good.
I've been pretty good this year. All right. Okay, we're going to take a time out. Come back. We're going to talk about this week's opponent, Black Hill State. They're coming off a big win, and they've had a pretty decent year. Should be fun on Saturday. I don't know how much fun it's going to be for John, but it'll be fun for you and me and the fans.
Hey, John loves games like this.
All right.
See if he can rally his troops.
All right. Car Pros John Wristen Show. We are at the Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House. Come out and join us. Little after party as well. Right after this on Fox Sports Pueblo.
The John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
Welcome back. Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House. Final segment of the Car Pros John Wristen Show. Jim Brooks along with the Chieftains Joe Cervi and the head coach John Wristen with you here tonight from Thunder Zone. And it's a great night. Everybody seems to be in a happy mood. And you know who would be really happy on Saturday, Joe?
Who would be happy on Saturday?
It'll be John Wristen. It'll be game time again. That's what you're looking forward to. The fans salute John as they walk out here. That's
you want to
nice.
say get that taste out of your mouth, but we got such good food tonight.
It's gone.
Well, not only did you say about my family, my wife's my biggest supporter, so I really appreciate all the help and support she gives us when things aren't always going well, and always the social media stuff, and it's kind of really awesome to have a wife.
Oh, I get that, but and sometimes we take Ro for granted because she's always here.
Well, some people don't want to be known as an athletic supporter.
No?
That's Jim Brooks at Jabrookski. See, I always make sure they know how to find you.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly right.
There's a lot of people that find me to tell him to shut
There you go. Exactly right. Well, John, you got Black Hill State coming into town this week, and this team's kind of been a little bit up and down this year, but of late it's been mostly up.
Well, they got their quarterback back. They got their quarterback hurt, I believe, in the second game.
Against Fort Lewis.
Yeah, and he didn't play the second and third game, and then he came back, and he can throw it. They have gotten a lot better. And they've changed schemes a little bit defensively. They're still tops in the country in getting turnovers. They had 7 last week versus Western State.
2 pick sixes?
They had 2 pick six that was like 60 yards.
And like back-to-back, weren't they?
They were all in the second quarter.
Yeah, it was like...
Yeah. So they're that way. They got a nice little system, and again, I have a lot of respect for what John Reiner.
You like John Reiner? I do too. He's one of the, and there aren't many guys in the RMAC that I don't like, but John's, when he says he respects a guy and likes a guy, that tells us he's pretty good people, and John's one of those guys. John Reiner's.
John is he's a quality guy and runs his program the right way, and they did some nice things. I'm proud of his success. I'm proud that we get a chance to compete with them, and we're looking forward to having that.
And he was on all those Shadron staffs, right? He coached under Obi at Bill O'Boyle at Shadron for a long time, so he knows Auer and Jazz, and so that little coaching and that little community. So, but you're going to have to play better regardless of who you're going to play. And is this a take care of us week?
It's all about us.
Yeah.
It's all about us making sure that we pay attention to the details, and our practices have been that way. I make sure our coaches have been that way. I kind of we had the same amount of team periods we normally have done. I took a couple periods out, so we're fresh. It's because we ran a little bit on Tuesday.
No.
Well, Joe and I kind of kidded Joe. I go, I wonder if John will just put him in the pads on Monday afternoon. Just Oklahoma drill. Let's get after it.
I wanted to do Saturday at 9:30 when we got
I can imagine.
The first guy I ran into at practice yesterday was Carl Fetters, and he said if it would have been me, it would have been 12:01 under the car lights.
Yeah.
I said, Carl, they can't do that anymore. That's against the rules.
But
he
rules schmoogles.
Yeah, he's you got to work out some kinks, but you got to work out some kinks just to get their attention, if anything. I mean, you obviously your personnel didn't change from 2 weeks ago. Your schemes didn't change. Your coaches didn't change.
Well, this is a matter of character reveals.
Attitude.
So character revealed itself on Saturday, and character can change and rebuild itself, or you're going to set in the cesspool. Okay, you're either going to set in the cesspool, or you're going to character, and you're going to work through it and get better. And I've been upbeat since Monday. Monday was a come to Jesus meeting, and
with your staff or with your players.
From top to bottom.
There you go.
And so
no one's immune.
Excuse me. It started on Sunday.
It was,
and it lasted till Monday at about 3 o'clock. And so I'm going to do my damnedest to not let that ever happen again. I'm going to do my damnedest to make sure that these kids must give it their all to have a chance to win any game. Winning is hard. Winning is so hard, and we've taken it for granted here.
Right.
We really have.
Sure.
I think I've taken it for granted. And when something like that happens, you got to go back and reevaluate what you're doing.
How does your coaching staff respond to that? I mean, you got new coaches in a couple of places, and that's not been the norm here for a long time, and.
Well,
I mean, these guys are all professional, and they've all been at a lot of places, so this isn't the first time that they get their butt chewed. But
my deal is to explain the expectation here at CSU Pueblo.
Sure,
it's different than any other place, and it should be. And I think they got the picture.
All right, first thing that jumps out at you about Black Hills this last 3 weeks, John, 50. They scored 37 against a tough Mesa defense.
Right.
And then 40 last week, but they had a couple pick sixes. But their offense is operating. I think that's probably job one. You said, man, our defense has to get better this week than they were last week. Got to get off the field. I guess that's probably the key. Third down defense probably going to be huge emphasis this week.
We got to make sure that we keep the ball in front of them. We got to make sure we tackle, and we got to run on the ball. We got to be physical. When you do that, you won't have runs of 73 yards. You won't have the different type of things that are going on. And so we just got to make sure that we handle that. We got to make sure that we play against one team, and we got to become successful that way.
Well, another listener checking in. Maybe it's the Cudas. Tanner Cuda was a high school teammate of the Black Hills.
Ryan Hummel.
Ryan
Hummel was that's Rock Canyon, was it not?
Yeah.
Yeah, up in Douglas County.
Yep.
All right, so that's a little tidbit we're getting from a listener there. But also, now South Dakota Mines defensively, as Joe mentioned, a couple pick sixes, so that tells you they got some playmakers on the back end there, so you got to take account of that.
Well, we got to make sure that we can execute our game plan with energy, preciseness, and have some fun with it, okay? I didn't think our team came out and was going to have any fun Saturday.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't.
That was the whole
almost
part
two
of it.
business as usual.
And so, if you're not going to go have fun and compete, don't play college football.
Right.
Don't take advantage of 11 opportunities. And my job is to make sure they understand that.
All right, and it's going to be a chance to be back at home again, and we're having a couple giveaways. And, it's free day for
Thunder Hill tickets are free. So if you want to come, you come. Just supposedly a family pass, but they're not going to turn anybody away. If you want to come to the game and you want to sit on Thunder Hill, the tickets are free. Now, if you want a chairback seat or a bleacher seat, obviously you've got to buy the tickets. But if you're just going to come and sit on Thunder Hill, it's free.
Well, it's also our pink out game.
Oh, there you go.
In our pink out, I've asked every player to dedicate this performance.
It's a special game for you.
It's a special game for us of involving my family and people are close, and that's why I think it's really neat what our players have done to try to build the spirits of somebody else.
Well, we're looking forward to it. We'll have the broadcast for you right here on Fox Sports Pueblo, 1:30 with the pregame show. Remember, it's a 2 o'clock kickoff for home games. And we didn't explore that, the old 12 noon start. But we'll talk about that another time, wondering if that was a problem on Saturday. The team just didn't wake up.
Just got
those extra 2 hours to get ready. And we'll hope to see you out there at the Thunder Bowl on Saturday afternoon. It is a 2 o'clock kickoff. Come out about noon. Go to one of the tailgates. Even 11 o'clock, they'll be getting
How about here? Come out to the Thunder
Zone Pizza
I
Tap
guarantee
House.
you, Ryan and Chris will take care of you. And
maybe you and I should come tune up. There you go. All right. We'll be ready.
You know who's going to be the honorary captain is Chris Bonner, the quarterback.
Nice.
He's going to be here, and all the guys coming back. They like coming down here to the Thunder Zone.
Sure. All right. We thank everybody. We thank the Car Pros. We thank everybody at Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House. We thank the head coach John Wristen, my partner Joe Cervi. I'm Jim Brooks. We'll talk to you on Saturday afternoon. Good night, everybody.
Go Pack.
Thanks for listening to the John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo, 1350. Tune in again next week at the same time for all things CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves football. Only on Fox Sports 1350, KCCY Pueblo.